So what does Steve McQueen, Marlon Brando, Clint Eastwood, and my friend Kyle, and potentially you, all have in common? Triumph Bonnevilles. Let's get into it. Cue the intro. So the Triumph Bonneville has been a very iconic bike for a long time, and it gets its name from the Bonneville salt flats. You know, just top speed, doing awesome stuff. Now Triumph has kind of gotten away from, you know, they've got, like, similar to Harley's, they've kind of stuck in that classic era. So much so that bikes like this, like the Srkcycles, this is actually a fake carburetor. Same thing with the 100, and not as much so with the 120 black. It looks a lot less like a carburetor and more, it's actually a fuel injection system. So what Triumph has been doing is they've been trying to keep this classic look with an awesome feeling bike. And I love the way Triumphs feel. It is a beautiful bike. They generally all weigh in around 500 pounds. Not too heavy, not the lightest thing, but not very heavy. But here today, we are here to talk about our new friend, the Triumph 2017 T120 Black. I love these bikes. We're gonna talk a little bit about the comparison between this and the other ones and how awesome this bike is. Now, if I ever had a complaint about the Srkcycles or the 100 or this regular Bonneville, it was that, well, I didn't even have this complaint until I rode the 120. And now that I rode the 120, I'm like, the other ones don't have enough power. Now, you ride one of these bikes and you're not looking for big power, you're just looking for fun, and but it's not a sport bike. But then you jump on the 120 and you're like, that's what I was missing, that's what I need. I love this big power. This is about 80 horsepower compared to, closer to 60. But the biggest number difference is that this is a 27 foot-pounds of torque more than the T100. That's a huge upgrade in torque for a bike that only weighs 492 pounds. It also has dual rotors on the front. It's also rocking throttle-by-wire. Jumping on this bike, it did feel a lot different. I've ride a lot of Triumphs, and they're all like, they all kind of feel the same, all the Bonnevilles. But I jumped on this, the new model, and it really felt awesome. Very unique. So you notice on the 120 black, the engine cover's black, the engine's black, a lot more flat black. I love this gunmetal gray color, and the seat, you can also get the seat in I think a red and a more of a leather looking seat. This is also rocking the 6-speed, where both of these bikes are still 5 speeds. Another cool feature about this bike is it has a USB charger readily available underneath the seat right here. And last but not least, this bike has heated grips. So a lot of cosmetic differences. You still have the same classic Bonneville style. It's very clearly the same family of bike. But the biggest difference is in the ride. Let's go do the test drive. Come on. All right, guys, before we do the test drive at the remote location, let's do the words of wisdom real quick. 1 John 2, 1 through 2. My little children, I am writing these things to you so that you may not sin. And if anyone sins, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ, the righteous. And he himself is a propitiation for our sins, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of those of the whole world. Amen. I hate when cars keep on piling up in front of me because this is a really awesome road. Guys, let's take this 120 black, T120 black on a test drive. So this is my special little riding area, and these bikes are a blast. They pull so much better than the regular 100s, which is important to me. They handle great. I love the response of the new throttle-by-wire, although I wasn't complaining before. The better braking, check it out. Really, really good braking. And just the looks, man. The looks of these bikes are great. Even with this classic design, it's still a nimble bike. It's a fairly short wheelbase, and unlike the other, the 865 Triumphs, you can clutch wheelie these things fairly easily. It's a stretch with the other Triumphs. I mean, if you do it, you kind of feel like you're breaking the bike. because you're just, you know, giving it too much. I'm giving it all she's got. So there's a really cool windy road back here. I love to show you guys and love to take this bike on too. And this is where everyone pulls off. Not that many people go straight. We'll bust out a 0 to 60 run because the speed limit is 60 miles an hour. If you guys have never, people live in Florida and some of these other New York, like New York City, you don't see stuff like this. This is one of the reasons why I ride motorcycles. I love being around all this stuff. Alright, up here looks like it's a good spot to see what 0 to 60 is. That was bad. Right there. That was bad. Traction control kicked in. I gotta figure out how to turn that off. So the 120, the T120 is, it could be an entry-level bike if you know, it could be. It's not very heavy. It's not. It is powerful, but it's not crazy powerful. If you were going to be responsible with it, if you were a younger guy, you might feel more comfortable jumping on something maybe a little lighter and maybe a little less power, because this thing is pretty quick. But most of the power is at the higher RPMs. But you could get yourself in a little bit of trouble at the lower RPMs, in the lower gears. And what I mean with that is, you know, if you ever watch these new guys learning how to ride bike, they're just, they don't know, it's like they don't know what's going on, and way too much gas and not enough clutch, and you know, too much clutch. They're just like pressing buttons trying to figure out what's going on, and then somehow they get from A to B. And if they give it too much gas and they release the clutch out too fast, that's what we call a wheelie. Wheelies, if you want it, if you're expecting it, are awesome. If you're not expecting it, they're awesome for everyone else to watch. Normally I go around the roundabout, but whatever. So generally a bike like this is not necessarily the best bike, you know, if you're going to do a big trip. But you could absolutely do a trip on a big bike like this, and it'd be a blast, and it'd be super cool. It'd be your Bonneville trip, and you'd be talking about it for the rest of your life, because there's, you know, it's not the most, there are more comfortable bikes for longer trips, but it's not a classic Bonneville, you know what I mean? It really kind of makes it. What I think where this bike really shines, I think a pool's good. It's just a great modern version of a beautiful classic bike, and it handles well. It handles well on these corners, and in most cases this bike is gonna handle better than you were able to run it. You know, you're not going to be limited by the handling of this bike. The bike is limited by the handling, and by you is pretty much what we got going on. It's nice. You could your toes start touching the ground when you realize how just so you realize how low you're getting. If you want to get a little bit lower, pull your feet back a little bit. Beautiful day, guys. This is an awesome bike. It's a wonderful bike to have in your collection of your 7 to 20 bikes that every motorcycle enthusiast needs to have. You know what? You don't have to have a classic Triumph. You know, there may have been a time where I was like, yeah, you need that classic Triumph. You know what? Forget the classic Triumph. Get the best of both worlds. Get a modern, reliable, beautiful, classic looking bike that will outperform any old Triumph ever from back in the days, in every possible way. Guys, if you notice, I'm rocking the M1 Moto gloves, lined with Kevlar. Shh, you can slide your hand on the asphalt for days with these things. Nothing will happen. We actually proved it. That video should be coming out soon. All right, guys, that wraps it up. We'll see you guys later. Remember, this bike is for sale, Srkcycles.com. I'm running out of gas, and it's not what you're riding, but where you're going.